is another reason why, as broken as our two-party system is, it's still the best system in the world. Because England is parliamentary, Israel is parliamentary. Many countries in the world followed England's, or at least the ruler of the world at that time, the colonialists from England, right? The king's rule, and that was a parliamentary system. Well, to get that parliamentary system, you had to have enough votes to be elected the leader. And to get that leader, he had to take some liberals, the current prime minister, had to take some liberals and put them in his party or his coalition. So now you've got a conservative in charge of England, the same party that gave us great leaders like Margaret Thatcher is raising the VAT tax. And if Margaret Thatcher, if I was Margaret Thatcher, I'd go down to the Parliament and slap them around a little bit. Because let me tell you, what that will do for the United States at least, and what's happening in Europe with the Euro and the European Union, it will allow our exports to grow into Europe. The problem is, what exports? We are exporting, by the way, our #1 export is food. Food. And by the way, that #1 export is free. We tend to export food for the rest of the world more for free than we do for money. But you were talking also about relating it to the United States in our policy year. VAT taxes are extremely regressive. Are extremely regressive. Because they pile on, it's called a value-added tax, for those that do not know. So a value-added tax is put on in the manufacturing level of every piece until you come up with a final product. And the sad part about it is, if we know politicians, both Republicans and Democrats, it doesn't matter if it's a VAT tax, they'll sell us a VAT tax, but they'll put a tax at the end as well. Our Peter's papers just left. Everywhere I go, by the way, Gary Peters sends people to tape us, or to tape me, and this is the probably third or fourth town hall where we've had people, and I'm sorry for interrupting the question here, but this is our fourth town hall where they've had to change up the people that they send, and they come and they try to be really sneaky with little video cameras, and they try to tape me. And many of you understand why, right? You've seen what's happening on YouTube and on Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, where they show people making a mistake, or Senator Allen in Virginia. Remember what brought his demise when he said, "You there, macaca." You know, he said a word macaca, which means absolutely nothing, but he lost his Senate seat, and that became a commercial. So maybe one day we'll all be stars on a Gary Peters commercial. Except the sad part about it is you'll see my face in the back of your head. No, you'll never see that. But to answer your question, I'm against VAT taxes, and actually, I believe the taxation system in the United States, if you have less taxes, it will create more stimulus. People keep talking about stimulus. The best stimulus is the individual. The individual. Allow the individual to keep what they earn, and allow them to determine their destiny, their freedom, and their spending. And that's what will create the best economy in the world. The sad part about it is we tax what grows and subsidize all of the things that are bringing us down as a country. And we should be turning it around. Many of you may have seen an email that came out that kind of chastised me for going to New York. I went to New York the other day for 16 hours because a band of brothers, the Iraq Vets for Congress, I am one of the endorsed candidates. And so is a gentleman, friend of mine, who now is a friend who I really respect. His name is Alan West. I'm not sure if any of you have seen his email. It went viral all across the United States. Alan West is a lieutenant colonel who had to retire, also kind of I'm a crystallite, because he kind of got forced out because he said something as well. But he had the cojones to stand his ground on principle. And Alan West and I were talking about this. So I went to New York to be part of that group, and we were helping soldiers run for Congress, the Iraq Vets for Congress. And Alan West had a great comment about that. And I asked him to allow me to use it, and I've used it now. Government and our Constitution specifically states, here it is, that we should promote the health, safety, and welfare, not provide the health, safety, and welfare. Somehow, we messed up some consonants and vowels, and we started providing the health, safety, and welfare. And Gary Peters, I hate using the word slippery slope, so let me use it. Gary Peters is on a slippery slope. Because here talks about health care, giving health care to everybody. What's next? A car? A house? Food? And then the government will give me everything I want. Who would have ever thought we would be living in an America that mindset was the slippery slope we're on? So, thank you. Yes, sir, Mr. Zeno.
The latest Rasmussen poll says 58% of the public voting, likely voters,
Healthcare?
are against or are for repeal of healthcare. Where do you stand?
I would love to repeal and replace. The problem is, unless we get a veto-proof majority, which is 2/3 of the House, 2/3 of the Senate, let's be honest with ourselves. Any politician that says repeal and replace, boy, I hope none of our ads show repeal and replace. I don't think they do, but because it's false. The only thing we can do, I would love to repeal and replace. I support repeal and replace. But what we need to do and be realistic about is defund. Exactly what we have to learn with what works for the Democrats. The best thing you can do is defund. By the way, Gary Peters was not too far away from here in the Older Person Center. What a terrible name for a center. OPC. Older Persons Commission. Okay. Sounds like I should go there, you know, and say hi. Shake hands. Yeah, 1966. But Gary was at the OPC here not a long time ago. I think it was about 2. Oh, there's Paul. Hi, Paul, from Gary's campaign. There's Paul. Hey, everybody, this is Paul from Gary Peters' campaign. He's been in the so
it's a recon.
Anyway, yes, it's a recon. Gary was at the OPC, and he said, Gary, I think you said this at the OPC, where you said that we weren't cutting Medicare. We didn't cut Medicare. We cut payments to providers. That was an exact quote. One of the individuals that was there. They weren't taping, Paul, but that's all right. Welcome. This wouldn't have been a meeting without you. I'm starting to really enjoy our company together. Folks, what happened was...
Yeah, let them know. We know.
What happened was that... Hear that quote one more time. We're not cutting Medicare. We're cutting payments to providers. Gary, you cut Medicare. I mean, point blank. So that's what it's all about. So I'm against the Obamacare package that passed the House and the Senate. And can I expand just a little bit? Because I'd love to, just a little bit. I'd just like to say something to Gary, if I may. Gary, this is one of the reasons why I got in the race. Because I think you lied to us. You lied to Oakland County. How many of you